This morning, a showdown between the Wisconsin Elections Commission and the Department of Justice. Ahead, what the department was asking the state's election officials to hand over.
Plus, the man mistakenly deported to El Salvador, now back at his home. The new video and how the Department of Homeland Security is responding.
And property owners in Madison are feeling the impact of recent school district tax bills. We'll have the details and what it could mean for you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning on your Friday, December 12th. I'm Kyrie Lee.
I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for tuning in. We have some dangerously cold air that is about to set in. It's cold out there to start this morning, but the real frigid stuff is on its way.
Yeah, so if you have some weekend plans, you might want to plan ahead for what's to come. We have Jacob Madison in this morning getting us up to date on everything we need to know. Hey there.
Hey, Kyrie and Chris. Alert day conditions will begin later tonight, and they're going to continue all weekend. Wind chills are expected to be as cold as -30 at times, and they are expected to remain below zero throughout the afternoon hours for the weekend. Now, right now, as you mentioned, Chris, the temperatures are cold, single digits and even below zero for some locations. But the key is we're pretty much seeing no wind right now. Calm winds across the board, so the wind chills are pretty much the exact same as the actual temperatures, but that's going to change later tonight. However, for today, the words are kind of cold but bearable, as we'll see temperatures in the single digits to start the day, in the 20s for the afternoon, a good amount of cloud cover throughout the day as well, and highs across the board will be in that middle to lower 20 range with a good amount of cloud cover, small chance of snow, but otherwise staying dry. But overnight, actual temperatures will drop back to near zero, if not below zero, but the key is we'll see those winds pick up, so I'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Jacob, thank you. This morning, the 21-year-old man accused of killing a woman in a car crash on Madison's southwest side will learn his fate.
Ryan Bertrand pleaded guilty to homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. Other charges he previously faced have been dismissed. A sentencing hearing is set for February 20th. The crash happened on March 6th near South Gammon and Raymond Roads. A criminal complaint says Bertrand was driving 55 to 60 miles per hour. This was significantly over the speed limit just before the collision happened. A 67-year-old woman died at the scene, and 2 children were taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
This morning, the race for governor continues to heat up. Joel Brennan is now running. Brennan is the president of the Greater Milwaukee Committee. He worked in the Evers administration as the secretary of the Department of Administration from 2019 to 2022. Brennan spent almost 11 years as the executive director of Milwaukee's Discovery World. Currently, there are more than 10 people running in the Democratic primary, including former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, current Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, State Rep Francesca Hong, State Senator Kelda Roys, and former State Economic Development Director Missy Hughes. On the Republican side, the field is significantly smaller. 2 people running here, Washington County Executive Josh Schoeman and Congressman Tom Tiffany.
The Wisconsin Elections Commission has denied a request from the U.S. Department of Justice for voter information. Earlier this month, the DOJ asked for Wisconsin's voter registration list, including the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers or driver's license numbers. In a letter, commissioners said they are willing to provide non-confidential data, but state law bars them from handing over the full unredacted list. The letter was signed by all but 1 commissioner. In new this morning, Kilmar Abrigo Garcia is now back at his home after being released from ICE custody.
Garcia was mistakenly deported to El Salvador in March and then later brought back to the U.S. on human smuggling charges. Yesterday, a federal judge in Maryland ordered Garcia be released from a Pennsylvania detention center. However, Garcia will still be able to leave his home for reasons relating to court proceedings, work, medical appointments, or religious services. A Homeland Security spokesperson says they will fight the move in court.
A Utah judge will now decide whether or not cameras can be in the courtroom during Tyler Robinson's trial. During its first appearance in court yesterday, a judge had reprimanded the only camera currently allowed inside the courtroom after it briefly showed Robinson in shackles and some of the documents on the defense table. Robinson is charged with the September murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk and could face the death penalty if convicted. The judge is expected to rule on whether or not cameras will be allowed in court next month.
Turning to the White House now, President Trump now putting some new guardrails on regulating AI. The new executive order now directs both Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Commerce to come up with a list of regulations deemed excessive when it comes to AI. It comes as 4 states have already imposed their own restrictions on AI. Other states, including Wisconsin, have barred the use of AI deepfakes. Some legal experts say the White House executive order will likely be challenged in court.
6:04, property owners in the Madison School District are recovering from sticker shock this week.
After approving a more than $600 million referendum last fall, we got our property bills this week. Consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn here to break it all down. Good morning, Michelle Renee.
Chris, Kyrion, good morning. The referendum was the largest ever for Madison Public Schools, and you'll remember one question asked for about $500 million to renovate or replace 10 schools, and another question asked for $100 million for operating expenses. Now, when we did the math before the vote last fall, we calculated the average homeowner in Madison would pay an additional $3,800 over 4 years. One Madison homeowner who has had her home for over 6 years says her property taxes went up $750.
I would say that there's no easier way to support your community in such a hyper-local way. You are investing in your community, and you're going to see the dividends pay out some way.
She says as long as she makes it ends meet, she's okay with her money going toward Madison students. MMSD's Assistant Superintendent of Financial Services says he gave voters a clear understanding of what the estimated taxes would be this year.
We want to tell people, if you vote yes, this is what we think your taxes are going to go up. You want to estimate higher than what it actually ends up being. I will say the actual numbers are less than what we were projecting, which is still a tax increase.
On News 3 Now's Facebook page, more than 100 people reacted to their property tax increase, leaving comments like, quote, eventually people will be taxed out of their homes, and, quote, another $1,000 from last year's retirement can't happen if I want to stay in my house. Now, while there's not much success, you can try to lower your property taxes with the city by having your home reassessed. But nothing's going to change with the mill rate, and you would run the risk of that assessment going up instead of down.
Now, some people might be thinking, well, I rent. This isn't going to affect me, right? But remember, there's still property taxes for whoever owns where you rent, and that's eventually going to get passed on, to everybody. But it was billed as an investment in our schools, a long-term investment. The district, and through my extensive reporting, did a fairly good job at putting all the information out there with some very thorough websites, with some community listening sessions. It really comes down to being informed as a voter before you make those choices. But still, when you open up your property bill this week, I mean, the increase for me, for my Madison property tax bill, the MMSD section went up 25% compared to last year, and the school section of your property tax bill is the lion's share of it. So it's hard to stomach when you see that type of increase, and the money has come due.
Absolutely. But we do know that money is going to exactly where it said it would. MMSD is planning to break ground March next year.
Yeah, that too. They also have very thoroughly outlined on their website where you can track exactly where your money is going.
Yes. So if you're interested, you can definitely head to MMSD online and figure that out too.
All right, Michelle Renee, thank you for those updates this morning.
Absolutely.
Well, on to some other local news this morning. The DNR wants you to remember what not to recycle this holiday season. Don't recycle holiday light strings, plastic bags or wrap, batteries or electronics. They can wrap around equipment or even start fires. So also throw out tissue paper, foil or glitter wrapping paper, and photo or musical cards, which can contaminate other recyclables. Officials say to check local guidelines because accepted items can vary by community.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County wrapping up the year with a special double home dedication. The event takes place Wednesday at 5 p.m. starting at 1125 West Main Street in Stoughton and continuing right next door at 303 Pine Street. The dedications celebrate affordable home ownership and community support. It's a free event open to the public. And check this out. I was out there with my fellow board of directors with Habitat Dane County just a couple of weeks ago working on these houses. It was kind of a team building opportunity for the group. So we got to get our hands dirty and do some of the work. I was out there painting. I painted part of the porch. Here I am. It's just, I love getting out and doing this and helping out with Habitat. And I can't wait for the family to move into the families, because it's a double dedication, to move into these homes, because that's what it's all about. It's making sure, their mission with Habitat Dane County is that everyone deserves a decent place to live. And this is an
Exactly.
example of how we're making that happen.
And I'm sure it's just magical to see it all come to fruition too after being out there and helping the community. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Special.
Yes. Well, let's switch gears and check in with Jacob, getting us ready for the day. Jacob, what's going on out there?
Well, the story is the cold weather, and although we're not seeing temperatures bitterly cold today, they are still cold, but there is a cold weather advisory in effect for most of the area for this weekend. I do expect the entire area to eventually be in this advisory, considering we're going to see those wind chills possibly in the -30s. Now, the big reason that it's not as cold right now, at least the reason it doesn't feel as cold, is we're not really seeing a lot of wind, but those winds are going to pick up later, especially overnight, where we'll see those gusts up around 20 to 30 miles per hour, and the breezy conditions are expected to continue throughout the weekend, and so the below zero wind chills will continue throughout the weekend. So looking at that wind chill forecast again, they'll stay above zero, possibly getting up into the teens today, and then as we get to the overnight hours, dropping into the -20s. So bitterly cold temperatures, that is the story, but they're not going to last too long. I'll talk more in detail about a warm-up coming up after the break.
Jacob, thank you. And still ahead, the River Food Pantry has the keys to their brand new building. We're live with how you can help them pack the pantry in the new year.
.614, the River Food Pantry is gearing up for a big move in the 608, and they're going to need your help to pack the pantry.
Our Josh Spider is live on Madison's north side with the first look at the new facility. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. We are super excited about our partnership with the River Food Pantry come early 2026 as we're going to help them pack the pantry here at the brand new River Food Pantry. And joining us this morning is Rhonda Adams. She's got a big smile on her face for good reason. It is so good to see you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. We are so excited. So yeah, this is our facility. So welcome to you, Josh, and welcome to the community as they're watching this. And just again, so excited that this is our new facility that we get to move into very quickly, very soon.
This has been a long time coming, and we're going to get our steps in this morning because this place is big.
It is big. 11,000 square feet from our old one, which we leased that space, to 33,000, so 3 times the size.
Wow. And right behind us, you have this beautiful state-of-the-art kitchen here.
Yeah, a commercial kitchen that really is kind of a one-of-a-kind, maybe one of the only and the biggest all-electric kitchens in Dane County. So we went from a 4-burner gas stove, which those 4 burners weren't always working, to 10 burners over here.
Wow.
So, yeah.
All right, let's walk here because we got a lot of stuff we want to show folks here.
Yes.
And I mean, the reason for this is obviously you guys have a... You all right, Mark? Running into a pole. This place is huge.
That's right.
You know, and that's what's so exciting is because of the growing needs in the community,
Yeah.
this is why you needed a space like this.
We did, actually, yeah. We were kind of past due in needing this space because, again, there is so much need in the community. There is a lot of food insecurity in Dane County. But we're here. We're here for those that need us, and we're walking through 80 pallet space here. So again, to your point about packing the pantry, we have empty pallets here. So we want to fill these with food. So we're asking the community for funds and also for food to be able to fill the pallets.
Because come next year, when you guys are in this facility, you're going to need to fill those pallets.
Yes.
And I think one of the exciting things that folks are going to notice here at the end of the building, this is going to be something brand new for you guys.
Absolutely it is. So right now, folks come up and have been since the pandemic that they come up and we serve them curbside, so outside in the elements, and it's cold right
Yes.
now, right? So our volunteers and staff are out serving our clients in the cold, and this really is a safe place for our volunteers and staff and our clients to come to the drive-through.
Oh, this is fantastic. So we're obviously going to have more messaging on how you guys are going to be packing the pantry coming up here in the coming weeks. But obviously you guys need the support to keep this going, you know, into the future.
Absolutely. So the holidays are our busiest time. A few weeks ago, we broke records. One is the most meals served in a day. Another one is the most households served in a day. And then it was the most people served in a whole week. And so that takes a lot of food to be able to do that. So we need to pack the pantry here now in the new facility.
Well, this is beautiful, Rhonda. Thank you so much for your time this morning. If you'd like to learn more about how you can pack the pantry and help News 3 Now and the River Food Pantry make a difference here in the community, just go to the story up on channel3000.com. And coming up in our next half hour, we're going to talk a little bit more about just how sustainable this brand new building is for the river as well, guys. But this is really exciting news for the community.
Oh, it's a big deal. Look at all that space.
Yes.
Now it's time to pack it. Thanks, Josh. Josh is always looking for inspiration to share with you folks in the 608. Just reach out with an idea if you got one.
Well, let's check in now with Jacob with our 3 things to know. Good morning.
Good morning, Kyrie. Bitter cold temperatures this weekend, but we will see some of those warmer temperatures once we get towards next week with not a lot of snowfall in the forecast, especially once we see those temperatures warm up. Not really seeing any major systems expected to impact our region. But obviously the big story, the alert day conditions for the bitter cold air. Wind chills will be above 0 today, so cold but bearable. But as we get toward the overnight hours, they're going to easily drop below 0, and they're going to stay well below 0 throughout the night, dropping into the negative 20s, and they're going to continue to be well below 0 in the negative teens throughout the afternoon Saturday, maybe staying in the negative 20s for some areas Saturday afternoon, then dropping into the negative 30s for Sunday morning with more below 0 wind chills for Sunday and Sunday night. And then by Monday afternoon, the wind chills will start to get above 0. But until then, I do want to mention that frostbite at these temperatures could occur in as little as 15 minutes, maybe even less. So if you do have to be outside, definitely bundle up, but try not to stay outside too long as these temperatures are going to be pretty dangerous. But like I mentioned, some warmer temperatures are on the way. We're going to see those high temperatures back in the 20s for Monday, then 30s for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, maybe even some lower 40s. And we haven't seen the 40s across our area since the middle of November. So it's going to feel a lot better considering how cold it's been and how cold it will be for the weekend. And even going forward, there aren't a lot of big any big chances of another cool down. In fact, our next solid chance of rain will be in the form of rain rather than snowfall. So, but taking a look at the snow chance this weekend, we do have some small chance of snow, light snow possible today. And then for late tonight into Saturday morning, a clipper system will move through the Midwest, mostly staying to the south, but the southern portion of Wisconsin could see a little bit of snow from this. However, we're not expecting much accumulation. And then we're going to be dry to start next week with our next solid chance of precipitation coming once we get to Wednesday night and Thursday. And at that point in time, as I showed you, temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer. So we're likely going to see it start out as rain, maybe see a little bit of a wintry mix as well. But the other thing with this system is it's still several days out and a lot can change between now and then. But we are expecting to see our next system right around that point. So a little bit of a messy forecast potentially for that time frame. But I'm sure many people will take it over the bitter cold air that we're going to see this weekend.
All right. Jacob with the update on that bitter cold. Thanks, Jacob. 6:20 to the Bucks now taking on the Celtics for the first time this season. The team hoping for some change, an improvement, you could say. Milwaukee has lost 10 of their last 12. However, early on, raining threes for Boston. It was a slow start for the Bucks. There's Peyton Pritchard finding a 3 there. And just seconds later, Jordan Walsh would rain down a 3. Bucks start to get some gears turning here. Bobby Portis wanted in on the fun. He was able to find the basket with some bonus distance. He finished with 27 points and helped claw back away at that deficit. Bucks star of the show, Kyle Kuzma, who would finish with 31 points and lead the Deer to victory, taking down the Celtics 116-101.
And the Packers are getting ready to play against the #1 team in the AFC this Sunday. They'll head west to Denver to play the Broncos. You can catch all the action at 3:25 right here on WISC-TV. And still ahead, candles with unexpected scents and sneakers filled with real syrup.
Okay, we're back after this.
Welcome back. We're taking a look at what's trending this morning. So Denny's is launching Sticky Kicks, the world's first sneakers filled with real maple syrup. So take a look at these babies here. The limited edition high tops were designed with footwear, artist mache, and each pair has a clear panel showing Danny's golden syrup inside. So the shoes drop on December 17th for $195 on National Maple Syrup Day.
It's on the outside of the shoe.
Yes,
Yeah.
on the outside, not the inside.
Okay.
This idea still just feels like an abomination. Like, what? Syrup in a shoe?
Is there a little hole so that you can, like, you know, take your shoe off if you're running low on syrup, you need to refill it, you know, that kind of thing?
I'm a little thirsty. I would have, yeah, it wouldn't be my cup of tea, but hey.
They might even slow you down if you're leaking syrup and you're sticking on as you're running away, you know?
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, here's some more foodie stuff for your morning. Bath & Body Works is serving up some unexpected holiday scents this season. The company's latest collection includes food-inspired candles like chips and salsa, pizza and ranch, and they also have like a pickle candle as well. And they also have slushy and popcorn, coffee and donuts, all the things if you want to smell that.
If I want to smell that, I'll bake it in my house.
And bring some here.
Yes, exactly. You don't
Yeah,
need
don't forget that.
food-scented candles. Bath & Body, you just stick to your original.
Stay in your lane, Bath & Body. We'll be back after this. This morning, we are looking ahead to Judge Hannah Dugan's trial, what we know about the jury.
And dueling healthcare proposals. What comes next after neither plan cleared the Senate?
Plus, Time Magazine names its Person of the Year. Good Friday morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Lee. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. We have arrived to Friday. The week, it wasn't too bad.
Telling you, you are in awful high spirits for such cold temperatures that are about to set in.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like you have to kind of brace yourself this time of years and just make sure that you're well prepared as you head out the door.
Yeah, it's going to get dangerously cold. Check in with Jacob Montesano in for Savannah this morning. What do we need to know?
Well, it's going to be cold today, but the alert day level cold will begin later tonight and continue throughout the weekend, where we'll see those wind chills at least in the negative 20s, and some areas could see wind chills in the negative 30s at times. Now, like I mentioned, definitely cold right now. Current temperatures in the single digits, some areas below zero. But as we take a look at the wind chills, I did just change the graphic, but it shows you that there's pretty much no wind. So the wind chills are basically the exact same as the actual temperatures. And here's a look at that wind. Very calm right now, but that wind will pick up a little bit later. But first, here's a look at your bus stop forecast. Cold to start for sure. Temperatures in the single digits, wind chills near zero. For the afternoon, it will be cold, but certainly bearable with temperatures in the 20s. We'll see mostly cloudy skies all day with a very small chance of light snow, but should stay mostly dry. Now here's a look at that wind gust forecast. Staying calm for much of the day, but overnight those winds are going to pick up, and that's going to allow not just the temperatures to fall, but the wind chills to plummet, as we'll see gusts around 20 to 30 miles per hour, and the gusty winds are expected to continue throughout much of the weekend into Sunday as well. So here's a look at today. We're going to see those temperatures in the 20s, but it's going to look a lot different tomorrow and Sunday, so I'll talk more about that and specifically show you those wind chills coming up in just a little bit.
Jacob, thank you. And you can stay on top of this weekend's cold temps by downloading the free First Warn Weather app. You can find that in your app store. Now to our top story this morning, we're looking ahead to the high-stakes trial of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. The jury is now seated for the historic case set to begin on Monday.
12 jurors, 2 alternates. Milwaukee Station's reporting there are 9 men and 5 women on the jury, all appearing to be white. U.S. District Judge Lynn Edelman told jurors he expects the trial to last for 4 or 5 days next week, adding it would be very surprising if it goes any longer.
Prosecutors say Judge Dugan helped an undocumented immigrant in her courtroom avoid arrest by federal agents back in April. The case is drawing national attention both for its possible impact on judicial authority and how courts intersect with immigration enforcement. Monday on News 3 Now this morning, we'll break down what to expect as this high-stakes, closely watched trial gets underway.
Meantime, the Milwaukee woman accused of shooting and killing a DeForest native will go to trial. Jamaica Mills is charged with first-degree reckless homicide with the use of a dangerous weapon modifier. The charges stem from a November 4th shooting where police say that Mills shot Ariel Spillner after they were smoking marijuana together. Mills will have an arraignment January 9th.
In national news, time is running out for lawmakers to find a way to avoid health care costs jumping for millions of Americans.
It comes as the Senate has failed to pass a competing measure from Democrats and Republicans. COVID-era Affordable Care Act subsidies are set to expire at the end of the year, so they're trying to come up with a solution at the last minute. Democrats push for a plan to extend those subsidies for 3 more years. Republicans are proposing routing funds into health savings accounts instead. The two sides traded blame after both plans failed, accusing one another of playing politics.
They don't really want to solve the problem. What they want is a political issue that they can run on in the upcoming election.
Coverage got a lot harder to afford, and families are facing a lot of impossible, horrible choices. And Republicans owned every bit of it because of the way they voted today. Shameful.
Some senators say there's still a path to a bipartisan deal, but most remain deeply divided. More than 20 million Americans could face higher costs as a result, unless there's an agreement reached before the new year.
This morning, the Trump administration is launching new sanctions on Nicolas Maduro's family in Venezuela's oil sector. Sources say the Trump administration plans more seizures after taking control of a tanker earlier this week. The White House reports the crew is being interviewed as the tanker heads to a U.S. port. Maduro criticized the operation on Venezuelan TV, likening it to the Pirates of the Caribbean. Meanwhile, lawmakers demand more transparency from the White House in questions over a controversial strike on an alleged drug boat. House Speaker Mike Johnson reviewed the classified video, calling the strike entirely appropriate.
New this morning, the FDA intends to put its most serious warning on COVID vaccines. The black box warning, which appears at the top of prescribing information, is designed to warn you about risks such as death or life-threatening reactions. Boxed warnings on opioids warn about risks of abuse, addiction, and overdose and death. The plan, though, has not yet been finalized and may still be changed, and it's unclear this morning whether this will be in effect by the end of the year or not.
And this morning, Indiana's congressional maps will remain unchanged after the state Senate rejected a plan to redraw them. The proposed map would have given Republicans a shot at 2 additional House seats in the midterm elections. Right now, Republicans hold 7 of the 9 House seats up for grabs in the state. President Trump has said he would support primary challengers against senators who voted against the map revisions.
6:35 now, turning to the Badgers. Wisconsin volleyball has swept their way through the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, and they have a huge matchup tonight. The tournament so far includes wins over Eastern Illinois and North Carolina. It's landed Bucky in the Sweet 16 for the 13th consecutive season. The dance now going to Austin, Texas, where the Badgers will face off against second-ranked Stanford tonight. Bucks in action last night, taking on the Celtics for the first time this season. The team hoping for a win because they've lost 10 in their last 12. Early on, all Boston, raining from deep. There's Peyton Pritchard finding one there. Seconds later, Jordan Walsh would nail the 3. Milwaukee's Bobby Portis would then get in on the action. He'd find a 3 of his own from distance. He'd finish with 27 on the night and help claw away at that deficit. Bucks star of the game, Kyle Kuzma, would finish with 31 points and lead the Deer to victory, taking down the Celtics 116-101.
And don't forget, the Packers are getting ready to take on the top team in the AFC. This Sunday, the Pack will be in Denver to face the Broncos. You can catch the game right here on WISC-TV. Kickoff at 3:25.
This morning, Time Magazine naming the architects of AI as the Person of the Year. Check out the cover here, inspired by the iconic lunch atop a skyscraper photo featuring Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang, OpenAI's Sam Altman, and Elon Musk. Editor-in-Chief Sam Jacobs emphasizing that 2025 marks a pivotal year for AI with no turning back. The announcement continues Time's long-standing tradition, now in its 99th year.
People care about it, they argue about it. We argue about it internally for months, and then the world stops and they have a feeling. Either it makes sense to them, it doesn't, but I think it's a really useful way to think about the year.
Time also naming K-pop Demon Hunters the breakthrough of the year, and the Las Vegas Aces basketball star, Aisha Wilson, the athlete of the year.
Very fitting. AI has shaped a lot of 2025. I think people are getting hip with AI and it puts a bow on it. I know it's a little different than years past where they just pick one person. Now they have multiple.
Yeah, and I understand the article does break down the positives and some of the negatives of AI and tell some pretty compelling stories. But can't they just pick one person? It seems like every other year they choose more than one person. It's like this year, it's like you got a group of people. Like, just give me one person in here.
So maybe they'll rebound for next year.
Yeah, we'll
bring
see.
that one back. Well, let's check in with Jacob. Jacob, what do we need to know as people are headed out the door?
Well, those alert day conditions, they're not going to begin until later tonight. It's still cold today, but the winds aren't really going to be a factor, and so the wind chills will stay above zero for much of the day. But here's a look at the actual temperatures overnight. Now, these are going to be combined with these gusty winds that will pick up overnight, which will lead to the very cold wind chills. So right now there's a cold weather advisory in effect for much of the area for tonight. I do expect the entire area to be under it for Sunday as well. And as we take a look at these wind chills, again, for most of the day, they'll stay above zero, but here they come during the overnight hours, plummeting well below zero into the -20s, and even for the afternoon hours this weekend, those wind chills are going to stay well below zero. So a very cold weekend, but next week is actually looking pretty good temperature-wise. I'll talk more about that and show you a few chances of snowfall coming up a bit later.
All right, sounds good, Jacob. Still ahead, we're live in the 608. The River Food Pantry has the keys now to their brand new building. Check it out. We're live with how you can help make sure they pack the pantry in the new year.
And the clock is ticking to get presents delivered in time for Christmas. The deadlines that you don't want to miss are ahead in My Consumer Report.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
642, back with what's going on in the 608 this morning. We're telling you about the River Food. We're gearing up for a big move, and we need you to help pack the pantry.
That's right. Josh Fighter is live on Madison's north side with the first look at the new facility. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. We are super excited to be partnering up with the River Food Pantry and helping them pack the pantry. And this is our first time inside this morning, and it is beautiful. But we need your help. Rhonda Adams is joining us this morning. You are all smiles because this is such a celebration for you guys.
It is. It is finally moving into a new space that we have needed for so long. We were at our other location for almost 20 years. And so now to have this new facility paid for, right, by so many wonderful donors is a dream come true.
And you didn't have to move far. You're just moving right up the street here on Packers Ave. But the space is just phenomenal, including this kitchen behind us.
Yeah, 3 times the size from our old one. So 11,000 leased space to a building that we own, 33,000 square feet.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
So what makes this building different?
So we have a commercial kitchen, very large, but really bigger than most kitchens here in Madison, commercial kitchens in restaurants. It's because we have volunteers that are helping us to prepare meals. So this one also is one of the first, if not the only, all-electric kitchen. So a 10-burner stove here. So again, just something different, but really as we think about trying to, embrace renewable energy and being efficient, this is one of the ways that we're doing it.
And obviously you needed more space because there's such a growing need in the community. We've seen that recently, and unfortunately that's not going away. So this came at a really good time for you.
It really did, yeah. So the holidays are always the busiest time for us. I actually broke some records a couple of weeks ago. But there is a growing need, and there are a lot of food insecure people here in Dane County, but we're here.
So obviously we're in the warehouse right now. It's empty.
It's empty.
So we're saying pack the pantry, and that means we're trying to pack pallets just like this,
yes,
because you obviously have to fill this space.
Yeah, we do. So this is 80 pallets worth of space that we want cases of food to come. So cases of food, individual pieces of food, and or money, right? So it costs a lot of money to serve the community, but again, we know that we've got a really great community that has supported the river in the past, so we're looking forward to that again.
And you just got the keys to this space, but you won't be officially moving here until the new year, so there's a little bit of time, but that's why the messaging is so important. You have to get this out there now, because come 2026, this is yours. You're in here.
Yes, yes, yes. And this is a really cool space. This is our most popular program, which actually, this one is a little modified from what we have now. So we have curbside, which it's cold, right? So people are driving up and our volunteers and our staff are serving them in the cold, or of course in the summer in the heat. But now we're protected by this drive-through, that really great space here.
And you mentioned the renewable energy early. This is obviously really, really sustainable, and for good reason too.
Yeah, yeah. So again, we have focused on, in this building, geothermal. So the geothermal electric heat pump mechanical system. It's a mouthful, but more expensive, but again, good for the environment. And then also on the south end of the building, we have a whole array of solar panels. So sustainability is really something we focused on in this building.
Yeah, so moving forward, obviously, come 2026, you guys need to pack the pantry. So how can people help do that?
Yep, so we have a QR code hopefully up here online, and people can click on that to find out about how they can donate money, but also there will be, in the days to come, we'll share information about people bringing food into the river too. And the community will have the first chance to drive through the pantry and bring us donations.
Yeah, we have all the details people need to know up on channel3000.com. Rhonda, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're super excited about this partnership.
Thank you, we are too.
This is going to be fantastic, guys. If you'd like to learn more, go to our website. And of course, we're going to be out here a lot in the coming weeks and months to help them pack the pantry. This is going to be the best year yet for the River Food Pantry for sure.
All right, can't do it without the community's help.
Nope. Josh, thank you.
All right, let's check in with meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Your first one forecast. He's got 3 things to know. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Chris, we're going to see those bitter cold
Okay.
temperatures this weekend with a little bit of a warm up once we get towards next week. And we're not really going to see any major systems across Wisconsin. Not a lot of big snowfalls. Could see some rain. Now, but I will, before I talk about the wind chills, or at least how cold they're going to get, I want to talk a little bit about just what wind chills are. So to start, our bodies lose heat through convection. And when we have no wind, it allows a little bit of a heat layer to stay around our bodies. So when you have no wind, the actual temperature, it feels like the actual temperature. But when you add some wind into the equation, it allows that small layer of heat around us to blow away, and that causes it to feel a lot colder. So in this example, if it's -6 with a 15-mile-per-hour wind, it feels like it is -30. And these are the kind of conditions that we are going to see this weekend. So let's start with the wind chill forecast. We're going to see wind chills drop stay above 0 today, but then drop overnight into the negative teens to negative 20s. Could even see some negative 30s out there for tomorrow morning. And then as we get towards the afternoon tomorrow, still well below 0. Once again in the negative teens and 20s, with more below 0 wind chills for Sunday morning, where they could get even colder. And then Sunday afternoon, still going to be below 0. Not quite as cold as Saturday afternoon, but still pretty easily below 0 throughout the afternoon. And then they're going to stay below 0 for Sunday night, finally rising above 0 for Monday afternoon. And then after Sunday, the temperatures are actually going to warm up very quickly. 20s for highs Monday, then 30s for highs for Tuesday through Thursday. Now, I do want to mention that this weekend obviously going to be very cold. Big Packers game that's not going to be here in Wisconsin. It's going to be in Denver. And the forecast for the game looks amazing. And it does get cold in Denver. It's not like this game's happening in Miami or something. So very unseasonably warm temperatures where the Packers are playing versus the very bitterly cold temperatures we are seeing here. Now, as we take a look at the precipitation chances, this is both snow or rainfall. And I say I'm including both because those temperatures will warm up to the point where we'll see some rain and snow. Just some light snow the next 2 days, but a better chance of some precipitation towards Wednesday night into Thursday. But a lot can still change between now and then. So bitter cold and dry for the most part over the weekend. But then next week we will see some warmer temperatures with our next system expected Wednesday night into Thursday. But right now, not expecting anything too significant, although things could definitely change the next couple of days.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, Americans are expected to once again break spending records this holiday season, but the window to get those gifts delivered is closing fast.
Consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn has the key deadlines for any gift that needs to be shipped. Good morning.
Chris, Kyrion, the race is on to guarantee gifts are delivered in time for a spot under the tree. Now, an estimated 2.3 billion packages will be shipped this holiday season, and that's a 5% increase from last year. People who want to get a gift delivered by Christmas, they need to act soon. The listed deadline to ship ground with the U.S. Postal Service is December 17th. And for the U.S. Postal Service, the 20th is the last day to ship express. The last day for 2-day shipping at UPS and FedEx is December 22nd, and both companies offer overnight service on December 23rd for Christmas Eve delivery. And for some added peace of mind, Craig Foreman, president of e-commerce for major courier DHL, suggests this rule of thumb.
Try and get your order in by December 15th. And really that is, you have a later date than that and can still make it, but just to have some assurance, because there are things that are outside of carriers' controls, such as weather.
That's just 3 days away, and by mid-December, he warns there's no room for errors, so be sure to double check that address and provide your email so you can track your packages.
Yes, and again, kudos to all the delivery drivers out there this time of year, working late, getting all those packages in.
In the cold, too. Thank you, guys.
Yes, so pay
Appreciate
attention to those dates. Yes, Michelle Renee, thank you. Well, coming up in the morning sprint, the Wisconsin Elections Commission has denied a request from the Federal Department of Justice. We'll break down what kind of data the DOJ was hoping to obtain.
If you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, send us a picture. We'll show it on TV. 6:54, time for the morning sprint.
A jury is now seated for the high-stakes, highly political trial of Judge Hannah Dugan. She's charged with helping an undocumented immigrant avoid ICE agents in Milwaukee this past April. There are 12 jurors and 2 alternates. Milwaukee station WISN reports 9 men and 5 women. The trial is scheduled to begin on Monday.
More than 20 million Americans who have health insurance under the Affordable Care Act could see their monthly premiums rise substantially beginning in the new year. After the Senate failed to advance competing Democratic and Republican measures to address health care costs.
Kilmar Abrigo Garcia has been freed from immigration custody. The Maryland resident was mistakenly deported to his native El Salvador before being returned to the U.S. A federal judge ordered his release, saying he had been held for months without lawful authority under the Trump administration.
Wisconsin Election Commission denying the request from the U.S. Department of Justice for voter information. The DOJ saw Wisconsin's voter registration list, including partial Social Security and driver's license numbers. The commission stated it can only provide non-confidential data, as Wisconsin law prohibits sharing the full unredacted list. The denial was supported by all but one commissioner.
The Packers are getting ready to play against the #1 team in the AFC. This Sunday, they will head west to Denver to play the Broncos. You can watch that game at 3:25 right here on WISC-TV.
And here's one final look at your forecast. Bitter cold this weekend, warming up next week. Not a lot of snow in the forecast. Our next system will be Wednesday night into Thursday, bringing in some rain and snow, but obviously the story, bitter cold for the weekend. Definitely avoid spending time outside, and if you do, bundle up. I cannot stress that enough.
Yes, just make sure, bundled up, and make sure you watch out for one another. Keep an eye on your neighbors. There you go.
CBS Mornings is coming up next.
Have a good day.